We've only had 5 games, so obviously there's a long way to go. But, as I said there, it does feel like that things have already been deflated for the Raptors season after all the energy going into the season. 3 straight pretty resounding losses, 2 straight blowouts. Morale isn't the highest right now. The energy isn't quite the greatest amongst the fan base, and some people are already saying that the season could be over. I'm not with you on that one there. There's still a lot of games to play, but the Raptors need to make some changes before it is too late. So let's talk about those here. I want to talk about things in their control and things not in their control that hopefully does go their direction. Starting off with the things that are in their control, things that should be amended pretty immediately. And it's a lot of the things that we've already talked about on the channel so far. And I think the biggest thing that's within their control is the defensive preparation for games. The Houston game, it felt better. They were better against Houston. I know they still lost 139 to 121 in that game, but it felt better. It felt like there was more energy there for the team. It felt like there was a little bit more effort being shown for the team, and that was great. But it felt really flat against the Spurs in the 121-103 loss, and it felt extraordinarily bad against the Mavericks. Like, I know they lost by 10. I don't think they got blown out, but they got blown out by Houston. They got blown out by the Spurs. Dallas felt like a blowout, even if the scoreline doesn't suggest it. And Dallas aren't that great of a team this season. Like, the Spurs have been a wagon. The Rockets are fantastic, but the Dallas aren't that good. Like, it's 3 pretty comfortable losses in a row for the team. And it just feels like for a bit of it, there's been some under preparation defensively. People are missing rotations. A lot of the times, people are not ready for help defense. People don't understand what their role is defensively, the positions they need to occupy defensively. A lot of that stuff is kind of creeping in, which is a little bit frustrating. So preparation needs to be sorted out a lot better than it has been out the gates to start the season. I think that's kind of first and foremost where I want to take this. But I kind of hinted at it already. The effort also feels like it hasn't quite been there for the Raptors in a lot of settings. And that's on defense, like I said, with missing rotations and, not rebounding. I mean, particularly against the Rockets, not boxing out a lot of times. I know they were undersized and they're big, but boxing out sometimes, like I saw a clip of Emmanuel Quickly just watching the ball hanging on the rim, not putting his body against anybody else to box out. Like, there was things they could have done to alleviate some of the issues. Like, especially you're going into a game where you're playing a huge team that rebounds well, that has a lot of size, etc. Like, there should be a bigger emphasis on boxing out and putting in additional work to box out. And I was a little bit shocked from that Rockets game not seeing that level of effort to do that. Like, it should be preached before the game. You need to be way more disciplined than normal on the glass, or we are going to get blown out because of how many extra possessions that this team gets. And that kind of was the case for the Raptors. Offensively, from an effort perspective, I think like a little bit more consistency is needed. I think a little bit more effort to get better shots is needed. Like Emmanuel Quickly kind of cleaning this up, but he's not really replacing it with better shots. He's just not shooting as much as some of these floaters he's taking off balance against difficult defenders over a hand. Like, those shots are just not efficient. We can eliminate those. Scotty Barnes in some games is fantastic at attacking the rim and getting to the spots, getting the best shots up. And then there's like a game against the Spurs where he takes one shot in the paint for the entire game. A little bit of a lack of consistency there. So these are all things that are within our control. The preparation for these games, the work ethic and effort to execute from a preparation standpoint, and the shooting consistency and like the consistency in taking the right shots on the offensive side. Like, that's kind of where there is control, and the Raptors can really start to dig themselves out of this 1-4 record. Who knows? The Cavaliers will be a tough game. I know they have people out. Noted in chat, Q-Man says Garland, Mitchell, and Allen are out. If we don't win this game, we're going to be livid. That might be the case, but the Cavaliers are still at home favored by 5.5, 6 points. 6.5, in fact, points now. So Tough game for sure. It could be the Raptors slip into 1-5. Could be them 2-4. Either way, that's not like a tremendous start to the season, whichever way that you spin it. Now, that stuff that's in their control, but there's also a lot of things that aren't really in their control as much. And the biggest thing that we've really noticed, and everyone has noticed this out the gate, is the health of Jakob Poeltl. Just got a very large contract extension. This year and next year, I'm not making a ton of money. Going to start making a lot of money after that, and it's a bit of a longer-term deal here. Absolutely, to start the season, Jakob Poeltl has looked cooked for the Raptors. He just has. I don't think there's any other way to spin it. He was out of the last game against the Houston Rockets. He's out for this game against the Cleveland Cavaliers while we're doing this live stream here. It's very obvious they do not have a replacement. And it's very obvious that the Raptors are way, way better when he is on the floor. And playing well. Because he hasn't been playing well, and it's been noticeable. Like, there's just nobody else who can perform the role of Jakob Poeltl. The Raptors don't have, they're very much lacking size. They don't have any backup rim protection. When Jakob Poeltl's out, they are a worse team. That's been the case for a couple of years now. We need him to be healthy. That's out of our control. Also, stuff that's out of our control, I guess, is within the control of the players. But, like, shot making has been down. Grady Dick has struggled to make shots this season in some spots. Like, I think he had a good game, but he hasn't been consistent. And when Grady Dick's shots aren't falling, his defense is so bad that it's hard to even have him on the floor at all. Emmanuel Quickley had an extraordinarily rough start to the season shooting the ball from three. I think he started 2 of 18 from three or something like that. Kind of picked it up the last couple of games, but still, like, the shot making just hasn't been there as much. And those are guys the Raptors have to rely on heavily for shot making. We haven't got a lot of Ochai Agbaji from a three-point shooting standpoint this season. He was a fantastic corner three shooter last season. I think he shot like close to 40% from three last season and was one of the best, again, shooting from the corners. I don't know. Some of that is, like, within our control. Like, it's the players who have to make those shots. Some of it is, like, okay, like, it's just relying on these guys to get it right and make those shots. Maybe some of it as well is getting the right schemes and getting the right plays to get Ochai Agbaji some open threes for the Raptors. A lot of these things can be within control, but part of that is out of their control. So focus on your preparation, your defensive effort, and your work ethic. Focus on getting the right shots. And I think a lot of these things do start to fall into place. But I think the biggest thing beyond our control is that this team relies very heavily on Jakob Poeltl. And you notice him a lot more when he isn't there or when he is there and he's clearly not healthy. It's not like the game when Poeltl's healthy, it seems that the defense is a lot more efficient. And it's so noticeable when he's not there that I think a big thing to start seeing, we need to get him back. Leave him out while he's recovering. I don't want no 6% Poeltl to come back and make it worse. Leave him out. That's a big deal, but focus on the stuff within your control first and foremost. I think things can start to move absolutely in the right direction.